Yeah, it is Friday. Hit the horn. What's going on? Let's get the vibes right first. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Energy, basketball, college. That's what we're doing today. Let's go. Woo! Let's get into it, baby. It is the GunzPicks show. If you don't already know, on the GunzPicks channel, I am the host with the most point guarded podcast in the self-proclaimed CBB GOAT himself at GunzPicks. You can find me on all social media junkets, X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me there at GunzPicks. You don't know the spelling, the name is on this video, this corner right there. And man, we had a great day yesterday. 10-3 yesterday. Didn't have the videos. Of course, my Duke Blue Devils lost in front of my very own eyes. So I'm a little bit sad about that. However, I move forward. Bigger tournament to come, and they need to get ready for that one. So that loss doesn't hurt as bad as it should because they've already won a conference championship. And every time they do, they get knocked out in the first weekend anyways. However, I think this is a good sign for a big tournament run for the Duke Blue Devils. Peter in the chat says, Guns, pumped up about Friday. Give him the horn. So we got a big slate of games here today. I'm going to give you 5 plays to pay the bills. And we're going to start this off here properly. We have a game here at 6:30 in the Big Ten Target Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is Ohio State. It is Illinois. And we're going with Ohio State on this one, plus 5.5. And it's going to be a 1.5 unit play. Excuse me a second. I got to pull some stuff up here. Let's talk about it. All right. You got to look at the offense and the defensive matchups here. Of course, with the offense here for Ohio State, 35th in offensive efficiency, 85th in turnover percentage, 101st in rebounds, but they're pretty good on the free throw line, 30th in the country in free throw percentage. You're going against a defense that is a little bit stagnant here for the Illinois Illini. Let's go 75th in defensive efficiency, 47th in defending shots, but they're terrible at getting turnovers and creating turnovers, 360th in the country as far as that statistic is concerned, 41st in defensive rebounding. They're 240th in defending the three, and they're going against and then on the other side of the ball here, we got Illinois, 4th in offense. You know their offense, they love to score points, right? They're 4th in offensive efficiency. They're 13th in offensive rebounding. They're 92nd in free throw percentage. They're 46th in field goal percentage. But they're going against a good defense here for Ohio State, 68th in defensive efficiency, 65th at defending shots, 165th in defensive rebounding. I think they're going to be able to match up here with Illinois in this junket. And like I said, Illinois' defense is a huge liability. They've been a liability as of late. When they get away from home, it gets even worse. They give up 79.6 points per game. They are ranked 195th in the country in defensive scoring. And they're going against an Ohio State that is just red hot. Ears pinned back. They've won 5 straight, going 5-0 ATS in the process. They're also 8-1 ATS in their last 9 games. This is a team that's red hot. We need to back them as much as we can now. Also, this is the second meeting versus Illinois. The first matchup, Illinois did stomp them 87-75 on the road. But that game was in the midst of a 2-9 straight up run there for the Buckeyes, which led to the firing of their head coach Holtman. After that firing, the team woke up. They're 6-1 straight up in ATS since losing their head coach. So this team is primed and ready and come together as a unit, taking away that toxicity off the team, made that team better and made them who they are now. Then you got to look at Illinois. 8 losses this season for them, right? 5 of them were as favorites, and they're favored here in this spot. And if you look at the line correlation, a lot of these, when Illinois was favored, it's around this number. So I think it's a perfect spot here to jump on not only the spread, but maybe a little sprinkle on the money line here for Ohio State. And who needs the game more? This is what conference tournaments are about. It's not about the ranked teams in a lot of these cases, because really the teams that are already in position to get into the tournament aren't going to play as motivated as the teams that are on the bubble. Hence, in Ohio State, that pretty much has to win the rest of the tournament. Not only the Big Ten to even get considered to get in. Of course, if they win the tournament, they're going to get in with an automatic ticket. However, they're going to have some work to do, and it starts here. Big game for them here tonight, 6:30 p.m. Give me Ohio State plus 5.5. First play, 1.5 unit. Bang a baby. Woo! 2. And Peter says, nice day yesterday, Guns. Yes, we would. we were due. Let's say that. And we're going to continue hammering down while the iron is hot. Michael, always in the building, said, "Hey, Guns, what's up, my guy? How you doing today? Give me for that one." And of course, the E to the Q in the building. Give him a bang. Here we go. Woo, I am fired up tonight. There he goes. No Tomo, play bigger, better. Yes, I got you. All right, let's go to the next play on the board here. We got some late night plays. I'm going to be messing around with the Mountain West. Don't you worry about that. Well, let's talk about a game that's coming up here in the MAC, the MAC to be exact. The bitches on my side, bitches on my left. All right, let's go into the Ohio versus Akron here. Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, Cleveland, Ohio is the spot. 7:30 p.m. is the tip. We're going to be going with a dog on this one. Ohio, plus 2.5, 1.5 unit play. Let's talk about it. Ohio, offensively, 107th in offensive efficiency, 78th in field goal percentage, 16th in turnover percentage, so they don't turn over the ball a lot. They're 91st in three-point percentage. They're 152nd on the free throw line. The team can shoot threes, and they're pretty decent on the 2 points as well, 105th in the country. And when I say this, you say, okay, 105th is not that great. It's mid-majors here, folks. It's the lower tier conferences. They can do only so much. This is actually pretty good for a MAC team. But you look at the defense. Granted, Akron does have a pretty decent defense. They're 11th in defensive efficiency. They're 18th in defending the three. But in a lot of these cases, you got to understand, you're seeing them as a short favorite here. They're one of the best, if not, I guess they're tied for second in the MAC with Ohio. So you're getting a short line here, but we have to look at the trends and look how these teams have performed recently. Akron has struggled since mid-February. You look at their numbers: 4-5 straight up, 2-7 ATS in the last 9 games. And then you have Ohio has been the exact polar opposite of what Akron has been lately. They're red hot. They've won 7 straight games, 6-1 ATS in that span. And Ohio has picked it up on the defensive side of the ball. That is why they've been very successful. If you look at their numbers, they've only given up 60.2 points per game to their opponents in the last 7 games. So this is why this Ohio Bobcat team has been successful as of late. Akron, looking into their last 7 games, if you want to look at the defensive end, they've allowed their opponents to score 71.8 points per game. Now, like I said, let me repeat that. Ohio has given up 60.2 points per game in the last 7 games. Akron has given up 71.8 points per game in their last 7 games. And you got Ohio as a dog. I mean, come on. Akron has not performed well outside of their home court either. If you look at their numbers, 5-12 ATS in non-home court games. And if you want to break it down even further, they're 1-4 ATS on neutral site games. Neutral site game, because it's a conference tourney. Ohio has also finished 7-1 ATS their last 8 road games, including an 82-55 trouncing of Western Michigan in their opening tournament game. So I think this is going to be Bobcats all day long. Get on the hot team, fade the cold team. Give me Ohio plus 2.5, maybe a little sprinkle on the money line, but for the official play for the folks, 1.5 unit, Ohio plus 2.5. Let's get it. Fire some guns for the boys. All right, Michael says, just grinding away. Got a banger. He's like North Texas first half, plus 3. Got a double revenge spot. FAU has not played actually a tournament game yet, is what he's trying to say. North Texas has won both first halves in the first 2 games, and this is in Texas. I agree with that one. I almost put that on my board myself. I may add that later, but I do like that play. It's North Texas or pass. I think you've got it accurately correct. It's a double revenge spot. And if you actually look at the line correlation, the success rate of this specific line, North Texas does prevail more often than the opposite side when FAU is favored by this 5.5, whatever the number is for the full game. You're looking at first half. I think full game, you can take North Texas as well. That is my opinion. Just a lead, nothing official here on the GunzPicks show. As 100 of you beautiful bastards decide to watch me live here on a Friday night while there is games cooking as we speak, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to the GunzPicks channel. Make sure you hit the bell. And also you can join and follow all my social media platforms. That is X, that is Instagram, that is TikTok, at GunzPicks. That's all I ask. I'm giving this information out for the low price of $0.00 to you. But you have to pay a price, and that is hit this thumbs up. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Just move the mouse over on here on YouTube, click it, ticket, bang. All right, let's go into the next play here. Oh, let's see. What do we want to do? Let's go. Let's play some Big 12 ball. Let's talk total on this one. T-Mobile Arena is where we're going to be going. Kansas City, Missouri, 9:30 p.m. tip, and it is Baylor and it is Iowa State. Iowa State's had their number, but can Baylor prevail? I do have a future on Baylor, so I would ride with Baylor on the spread. However, for an official play, I am just going to be looking at the total here, and I like the under 134. Let's talk about it. I think the matchup works perfectly. What does Baylor like to do? Their offense is incredible. 5th in offensive efficiency, 14th in field goal percentage, 26th in offensive rebounding. They do turn over the ball a little bit with 215th in the country in turnover percentage, but they're 88th in the free throw line. But they're going against an Iowa State defense that we all know is pretty impressive. 2nd in defensive efficiency, 49th in defending shots, 2nd in creating turnovers, 190th on the defensive rebounding. They're very aggressive. They get in your face, and they make you make mistakes. That is what Iowa State does. And they defend the ball very well, making every shot virtually impossible. That's why I think this is a perfect time to take the under. And then you look on the offensive side for Iowa State and the defensive side for Baylor. They're match up very well on this one. So I think it's going to be another one of those situations that Iowa State's not going to have struggle here to find points versus Baylor, especially a hungry Baylor that sitting here as a short dog and a team that has historically owned them. I think they're going to be ready to play on this one, and it's going to be a little bit of a rock fight. But Baylor's strength is their offense. Like I said, their production does plummet when they leave their home court. If you actually look at the numbers of the points per game, home versus non-home games, I should say, they 74.5 points per game that they average outside of Baylor when they average 86.4 on their home court. Very huge split from home versus away. And then you got to look at the offensive production for Iowa State. That plummets as well. 80.7 points per game they average at home. However, they only average 69.4 on the road. And that includes neutral site games here, folks. This is a team that both teams plummet the production of their offense, and actually their defense kind of boosts up when they get on the road. And then you look at Iowa State's scoring average on neutral courts. That's another number here. They average 68.8 points per game. So it's a little bit lower than their actual full road split. Like I said, 69.4 they average, but on the road, on neutral courts, it's been 68.8 points per game. And then Baylor has only put up 68 points in the first game in Kansas City, Missouri. So it could be seeing a similar type of dynamic here with these two teams, and it's going to be way low. This is why the number is sitting here at 134. Also, Baylor 63 to the under as a dog. Iowa State 10-2 to the under in their last 12 games. That's right. Everything's telling me all boxes checked on this one, and we need to be looking at the total, not the side. Give me Baylor, Iowa State under 134, 1.5 unit bang across the bow. And a little sip of the potion before we hit the 3-wheel motion. Let's go. Delicious. That is, hopefully it's UNC tears as I'm wearing a pit hat tonight. We'll see what happens in that game. All right, let's go play in a little Thomas and Mack, shall we? Let's talk a little Mountain West ball. We all love Mountain West ball. I talk about this conference all the time, and I love this conference. I love betting on this conference, and I'm going to bet on them again. We're going to look at San Diego State versus Utah State. Thomas and Mack going to be rowdy in the Thomas and Mack, Las Vegas, Nevada, 9:30 p.m. tip on the East Coast, 6:30 on the West. We're going with a favorite, the Aztecs. We took them yesterday. We did lose. I'm running it back. And we're going to take a San Diego State minus 4.5, 1.5 unit. Let's talk about it. Offensively, you got a San Diego State team that is 66th in offensive efficiency, 65th in offensive rebounding, 68th in the country getting to the free throw line. They love to dribble drive into the hole, and they're 143rd in free throw percentage. On the defensive side, though, that matches up pretty well. I got to say, Utah State does have a 53rd in defensive efficiency, 199th in defending shots, 31st in defensive rebounds, and 3rd in defending the three. But who cares? San Diego State doesn't shoot threes, and the 304th in defending the two, though. That's where San Diego State's strength is, getting to the hole and scoring inside the arc. And they're 208th in allowing opponents to get to the free throw line. So there's a couple dynamics there that I like to look at. You have a bad defensive team inside the arc. They love to guard up top. However, it plays into what San Diego State wants to do. They don't want to shoot threes. They want to take it in, score the 2 points, and then play incredible defense, because the San Diego State defense is 9th in the country in defensive efficiency, 42nd in defending shots, 62nd in blocks, 65th in steals. But that is the strength. But you got to look at Utah State offensively, very strong, 34th in field goal percentage, but they're 256 in 3-point percentage, 11th in 2-point percentage, 209th in free throw percentage. I think what this game is going to tell me is, especially looking at that line, against a good defense, Utah State's strength is their offense to score points. I think when they play a good defense, they're going to, if they struggle scoring points, their defense is going to be, it's going to get gassed. And then you're going to get a San Diego State team that's going to score inside the arc. All right. When we look at the Utah State on this one, their wins out of their last 9, they're 8-1 straight up. I got to give them that. Credit is credit where credit is due. However, they do not cover spreads. They're 3-8 ATS in that span. So so from that perspective, it doesn't matter if they win. They never cover. Granted, a lot of these times they're favored, but even in a couple of these situations, they were a dog and didn't even get it done. So I think this is a perfect spot to be taking San Diego State. It's also the third meeting between those two teams. They did split home and home, which is typical for the Mountain West. Only home teams do win and cover in a lot of these spots, except for like Nevada. But this is Utah State as a 6-point dog, 5.5, 4-point dog. But when they're a 6-point dog, they were a 6-point dog on the road in the first game, 3-point dog favored at home in the second game. So they won. Those were the dynamics of the number. Now you're seeing the line basically way favored for San Diego State. I think that's line correlation there. That's telling you a story. On a neutral floor, the line is virtually identical to San Diego State playing at home. So that's why I like to look at the lines and I see where the correlation is. That is a perfect spot to be taking San Diego State. Also, San Diego State 7-3 ATS, single-digit favorite of 4 points or more. And they just beat the home team in the tournament, UNLV. They're playing on their home court. They took him into overtime, granted, and San Diego State still got it done. I think San Diego State is motivated in this tournament more than Utah State is. And I think it's shown in previous games, and that's why you're seeing them as a favorable favorite, if that's the term I want to use there. Utah State as a dog, another problem for them. 1-4 ATS this season. I think it's a red flag too when you have a 23-9 team that is 5th place in the conference going up against the number 1 team in the conference that's 27-5. You have the lower seed in the conference that's favored. That's why we're going to be taking San Diego State on this one. They get it done. They cover for us tonight. They didn't do it for us yesterday. They will do it for us today. Give me San Diego State minus 4.5, 1.5 unit banger. Let's go. Woo! Ha! As we get back into the chat, Peter says, Guns, best analysis of these games. You know it. You know it. And I got the energy to boot. All right, let's go to Jay Lottie in the building. Woke up a winner with the Nova under. Cheers to beers. You're welcome, baby. That game even went into overtime, and we still covered the total. We still covered the total. We didn't cover the spread because it did go into overtime. However, I will take the under and take the profit that we got today, 10-3 yesterday. And we're cooking with napalm tonight with these 5 plays. All right, one more play to give you guys, as 136 of you beautiful people are watching me here live. Like and subscribe to the GunzPicks channel. Hit the like button, the thumbs up, hit the bell so you know every time that we go live. And join me on all of these social media junkets, Twitter, a.k.a. X, Instagram, and TikTok. I do put up video clips and stuff like that, some fun stuff. And, yeah, that's where the live content is as well, also on the GunzPicks channel. All right, last play, and this is going to be a late one. It's Friday night. You don't got to work tomorrow. Well, maybe you do. But if you don't, you're going to stay up late, drink a few bevies, and watch this game with me. It's going to be New Mexico going against Colorado State. Thomas and Mack, 12 a.m. is the tip. And we're going to be taking New Mexico. This team is motivated. We're going to take them on the money line, minus 134. to get it done versus Colorado State. Look at the numbers. Colorado State is 32nd in offensive efficiency, 21st in field goal percentage. They're not a good rebounding team. They're 330th in that regard. They're 185th in three-point percentage, and they're 58th in free throw percentage. They're going up against the New Mexico defense. That is pretty good. 26th in defensive efficiency, 75th in defending shots. They're 47th in creating turnovers, and they're 73rd in defensive rebounds. On the offensive side of the ball, these two teams match up again pretty well. 40th in offensive efficiency, New Mexico is 146th in field goal percentage, 51st in offensive rebounds. Not a good free throw shooting team, a little bit scary, 201st in that statistic. But on the defensive side with Colorado State, they are 39th in defensive efficiency. They're 106th in defensive rebounding. They're 181st in defending the three, but they are 306th in the country in allowing opponents to the free throw line. Now, you may not have the best free throw shooting team ever with New Mexico and the Lobos, but they'll have plenty of opportunities to get free throw attempts. That may balance everything out as far as their bad free throw shooting is concerned. New Mexico has excelled on neutral floors. If you look at their numbers, they're 6-0 ATS and straight up in neutral court games this season. Colorado State has won their last 4 games straight up, but they are currently on a 1-5 ATS run. So this team hasn't been covering spreads. They have been winning, but they have not been covering. So that's why we're just taking them straight up on the money line here with New Mexico. We're not going to mess with the numbers, the -2, -2.5, or whatever it is. We're just going to play money line on this one. Also, Colorado State is 1-4 ATS as a dog of 6 points or less this season, so they don't do well as a dog, especially a short dog. New Mexico has done well as a favorite. If you actually look at those numbers, pretty impressive. 11-1 straight up, 10-2 ATS in those positions when they are favored. This team, when they have the chalk, they get the job done for the bettors. And that's why we're going to be taking this New Mexico team tonight. And guess who needs the game more? It ain't Colorado State. They're currently an 8-9 seed in the tournament right now, as far as Joe Lunardi's bracketology tells me. And you have Colorado State on the bubble, trying to get in. I'm sorry, New Mexico, trying to get in. And they need to win games. And I think this is going to be one of those positions they're going to try to win the whole dang tournament. And I think they have the ability to. They have strong guard play. They're deep. And this team was one of the top teams in the Mountain West, but they fell apart somewhere in the end. But I think this team is getting hot at the right time, and it's time to back the Lobos all the way through the Mountain West tournament. Give me New Mexico here. Money line, -134, 1.5 unit banger. Hit the gun. Woo, shots fired, shots fired. As 160 you beautiful bastards are joining me here live. Like and subscribe to the GunzPicks channel. Hit the thumbs up, hit the bell. Do everything that every other show tells you to do. I don't have to tell you anymore. Just do it. Do it. And let's recap for the people that didn't see the whole entire show. To recap, we have 5 plays that paid the bills. We have one that's going to be starting here in 5 minutes, so get on it. We're going to go Ohio State plus 5.5, 1.5 unit play. And I'm going to give you a little wink. Might as well sprinkle dink on the money line unofficially. Sprinkle on the money line unofficially. And then we're going to go New Mexico. We're going to play some late night action here in the Mountain West. Money line -134, 1.5 unit. We're going to go under in the Baylor in Iowa State game, 134, 1.5 unit. We're going to go play in the MAC Ohio plus 2.5. Sprinkle a little money line on that one unofficially, but we're going to play with the spread officially, 1.5 units plus 2.5. And then we're going to go San Diego State -4.5, 1.5 units. 5 plays, 5 bangers. Let's hope they're 5 wins so we can sweep the board. All right, guys. That's going to do it here for the GunzPicks edition on this Friday. I will be back tomorrow to talk a little bit more conference tourney. And guess what? I'll be back on Sunday to talk some more games on Selection Sunday. I may have to do a quick video for that one. I'll have to figure that one out because I am leaving the state, flying out. So the content is going to be on the fly, a lot of quick videos. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do shows that week, especially going up to the tournament. But I will make sure you will get the picks, the plays that pay the bills. So good luck with all the games and all the bets. Let's cash some tickets. Let's dominate the board. And as always, let's keep dancing. Bang.